Hello everyone, welcome back to the video. In today's video, we will be discussing about the new Python library that is a Seaborn library, which is basically used for visualization purpose. So we will learn more about it, different types of graphs, what are the categories of graphs which is available in Seaborn library, and what exactly the Seaborn library is, what are the features that Seaborn library offers, and many more things. So don't forget to like the video and comment down. So let's get started. I am using a Visual Studio Code over here so that I can use a Jupyter notebook on it. So what is Seaborn library? Now Seaborn is a library which is used for visualization purpose. Now what is visualization? Visualization मतलब किसी भी चीज का ग्राफ, किसी भी चीज की प्लॉटिंग करना, किसी भी चीज ग्राफ के फॉर्म में डिस्प्ले करना. तो ये बहुत ही अच्छी चीज है जिसको हम इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं. द थिंग इज अगर हम किसी चीज को प्रेजेंट करना चाहते हैं देन दिस इज अ वेरी इफेक्टिव वे टू डू सो. Seaborn library is basically created on the top of the Matplotlib library. Matplotlib is also a visualization library, but in Matplotlib, we can create only basic one. So Matplotlib basic one and Seaborn is the advanced one, but still we need a Matplotlib for adding the titles, labels, and so on. I will be telling you one by one what are the things that we can do on it. So first thing is we need to import, we need to install those basic things we will be doing. So first we will be installing our Seaborn library in our file. So you just have to write down the command pip install Seaborn. And then you have to run the code. It is just asking for the kernel. Anyways, the kernel is already selected, so we'll not do this anymore. It is just running. It will just take some time. It is a basic command. You just have to write down pip install and then the library name. So I am installing right now a Seaborn library. Yeah, it is just connecting to the kernel. Once it is connected to the kernel, it will run the code. So every time when we want to install any library, you just have to write out the same command, pip install and the library name. So as I said, Seaborn is built on top of Matplotlib, basic visualization library. So while installing the Seaborn, you will find some other libraries also. If you will see NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, everything will be mentioned over here. What are the other libraries installed along with the Seaborn? After doing so, you have to import it in your file. So you have to say import Seaborn. You can use alias method also, just like as SNS. It is just a kind of a nickname you give to a library so that whenever you are calling to the library, you don't have to call the complete name. You can call that short name that you have given. And that's it. So you have to write import Seaborn as SNS. Now, very interesting feature until it is just importing. Let me tell you, very interesting feature in Seaborn library is there are some built-in data sets. Built-in data sets means just like in Pandas, if you are using a library, you have to get the data from other sources, like might be from Google you are downloading, or the client has provided you the data, or you have taken the data from any survey or anything. But in Seaborn, we have built-in library. It means for practice purpose or for implementing some features, for testing something, you can use those built-in libraries, which will help you to like save your time also. So in this Seaborn, we have 22 built-in data sets. So we can use those also. So once we have imported it, we can plot the graph. So for plotting the graph, we will be using one of the built-in data sets. So how to get the detail of that built-in data set is you have to write down the code for the same. Now code for getting it is sns dot get underscore dataset names. First, we will be printing the dataset names because we are not sure what are the different names of the dataset which is available in the Seaborn library. So you just have to write down this command which says sns dot get dataset names. SNS is the library name and get dataset names will give you the dataset name. It will give you the entire list. So don't forget to write this brackets parenthesis because then only you will get the output like this. So these are the inbuilt datasets which are available on it. So suppose we are taking an example that I'm going to work on tips dataset. You can take any, but I will be working on the tips, okay? Because this is the basic one. So how to get it in your, this is like sns dot load data set, bracket, your data set name. It's tips. So we'll write tips and then run. It will load the built-in data set whose name is tips. So there are few columns: total bill, tip, sex, smoker, day, time, size. So these are the columns available in the data set, and these data sets will not be like a lengthy data set. These will be just a normal one, just like if you can see in this case, we have 244 rows and 7 columns. So accordingly, we will continue with the next command. Now we have the data set. We know other values. If you want to check for any null values and everything, so you can execute it. So right now we are dealing with the Seaborn library. We are learning about the features of Seaborn library. So we won't be doing all those things. I will be telling you what are the plots and what are the things that we can do in this SNS library. So there are different categories of plots that you can plot. So the first is the relational one. There are different categories, as I said. So first is the relational plot. I will be using this as a markdown. So let me cut it from here. And we'll write it over here. First is the relational plot. This will show you the relationship between two variables or two columns. Okay, these types of plots are used for that purpose. Another one we have is the distribution one. Distribution plot. So in multiple machine learning models, you will be using. So categorical one, categorical plot. Another one is the regression one. In regression one, you will get one line. So let's take an example. You are working on like a group of people. You have the data set in which the data set consists of the people who like coffee and some likes tea. So suppose the data set consists of two portions. So one will be on the right hand side top corner, another is the left hand side bottom corner. So both are the two different categories. The persons who like coffee doesn't like tea. The persons who like tea doesn't like coffee. So that is like that scenario. So in this case, if you are going to plot a regression plot, there will be one diagonal line which will be representing two different categories. Another is the matrix. In matrix case, we will be using a scatter plot. It is basically for plotting an array. So these are the 5 different categories of plots available in Seaborn library. Now there are multiple plots that we will be plotting today. So we will be dealing with line plot. Another is the count plot. And next one we have pair plot. Then we have scatter plot. Scatter plot. Then we have hist plot. These are just the basic one. I will tell you how to get the details of other libraries, like other plots out of these libraries. So these are the 5 which we will deal with. So let me just cut it from here and use a markdown cell and paste it. I think this was a code cell or markdown. I'm not sure. So let's delete it. So these are the 5 plots that we will be working on. Another thing is I have not used like any of the drop down menu or like numbered list or those type of things. That is why it was all coming up in the single line. I will just use the aesthetic symbol for unordered list. And now it will be like this. I don't need a markdown cell. Now I need a code cell. Now what we are going to do is I'm going to plot a line plot between two different columns. Let's suppose I'm going to make a total bill and the size. Let's suppose these are the two columns. So total bill I'm going to take on the x-axis and size I will be taking on y-axis. So what is the syntax to write it is SNS dot line plot. Then you will define x, like what you want in an x. So as I said, I want size and no size. I want total bill. So you will write total underscore bill. Then moving ahead with y is equal to size. Then you will give the reference of the data that you have, data. So in our case, we have not saved our data in any of the column, right? So that is very important. We will be just using it. Suppose df is equal to this, and just will run this. And now I have the data in my df variable. So I will write it down over here. Data is equal to df, like this. So it will take x-axis as a total bill and y as a size. So this is the line graph which we have plotted between these two columns. Suppose I wanted to use the count plot, so I can use it. Count plot is basically help you to count yes or no or particular, like particularly for like if you want to calculate zeros or ones, or if you want to calculate yes or no. So in that manner, count plot is going to help you a lot. So I am going to use it. In this, we have just have to pass one column name. So we'll go back, we'll check for the data. Okay, we have not printed it. Let's print the data. Yeah, so we have smoker. Let's suppose I'm going to count smoker, that how many persons are there who are smoker and who are not. So I will use as column as a smoker. And then again, we have to give the reference to the data. Data is equal to df. Make sure you are writing the correct name of it, correct name of the column. So in our case, we have yes, somehow around 98 or 90. I don't know, I'm not, this is not showing the exact value. You can print the count as a sum also. And this is more than 140 and this is more than 90. So this is how we plot the count plot. Another one is the pair plot. Pair plot will show you the relationship between multiple columns. Okay, so it's wrong. Pair plot. And then in this also you will give the reference to the data. Suppose I want entire data. And in this, there is one interesting thing. If you can see over here, when my mouse is on this, it is showing data is equal to any, and then you can define any of the parameter. Hue, H-U-E. What is this? This is for the color of the data. I will show you. Suppose I'm writing hue is equal to smoker. So in smoker category, we have two things, yes or no. So in this case, let's see what is going to be, what is the effect of smoker in our plot. So now look, in this we have two, yes and no. So in this case, we got two colors, orange and blue. Suppose I'm going to change it and I'm going to make it, suppose, tip. So in this case, we can easily observe what is going to be the effect of hue parameter. Hue is basically for the color of the graph. It will also help you to analyze the things. In last case, we can easily say something like, let me show you. So in this, we have different shades of particular color, right? But in other case, in the case of smoker, we were getting two colors. So in case of smoker, we were getting two colors. So we can easily say that the persons who were smoker were on this this paper is affecting this. So total bill, out of the total bill, these were the people who were smoker, like 50 around. And if you can see over here, if we are comparing the tip and the tip over here, this will give you another data. So same way we can plot a scatter plot. Quickly we will do that. Scatter plot, and in the scatter plot also you have to give the value of x and value of y. Suppose I want total bill, and then again we are writing y is equal to the another variable that we have, suppose tip, then comma, data reference we have to give, data is equal to df. So this will plot a scatter plot between two columns, total bill and the tip. And this is how it works. Another is, suppose hist plot, as I said, we will be dealing with. So hist plot, and this we have to just say data is equal to our df. Because in df variable we have stored it, and x is equal to any column name, let's suppose tip. So this is how it is showing the count and the tip. Like most of the tip was of about 50 and like this. Okay. So this is what we can do within the Seaborn library. If you want to add up the other parameters like adding the title, giving the left hand like left label and the bottom label like X label and Y label. If you want to change those things, then we will be using Matplotlib along with the Seaborn library. That we will be doing in the next video. Till then, you can just use the built-in libraries, built-in data sets that we have in the Seaborn and just execute it. If you want this file, just comment down in the chat box. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.